Welcome, dear astrology lovers. This is a new video with me, Veerle, Veerle, and I'm going to talk about Mercury Retrograde. That is about to happen from around in July on the 19th of July. On the 19th of July, we're going to have Mercury at 15 degrees of Leo going backwards. And then it goes direct again, round at about 4 degrees of Leo on the 12th of August. But I'm doing this quite a bit in advance. Why? Because I want to tackle the whole Mercury in Leo kind of period, including the shadow periods, we call it. And that is already starting on the 30th of June, the 1st of July of 2025. So what it means is that the shadow period will start at 4 degrees of Leo, because that is a part where it's going to go direct again. So 1st of July, 4 degrees of Leo, as it still goes forwards, it's already in its shadow period. What it wants to say is that topics, and specifically topics around communication, travel, studying, but in a big way, how we talk to each other, how we receive information, that is going to be highlighted already in the beginning of July, those topics. And we know that it's always time to reassess something in the Mercury retrogrades. There's like 3 to 4 periods of that in a year, so it's pretty common. And but as I said, now it is in Leo. So at the beginning of July, the 1st of July, it's going to be at 4 degrees, and it's going to go 5, 6, 7, and so on, up until the 19th of July, when it hits the 15 degrees of Leo. Then it seems like it's going to stand still and going backwards again to 14 degrees and so on, back to that 4 degrees, so to speak. When it reaches again the 4 degrees of Leo, it will be around at about the 12th of August. It's gonna go direct again. And then it's out of the shadow period when it hits the 15 degrees of Leo again, which will be at the very end of August. So that's gonna be around the 25th of August that we're gonna have the direct motion of Mercury in Leo at 15 degrees, but on the 25th of August. So that pocket of time, these couple of weeks, are going to be very much about reassessing something. And I'm going to have a look in in a minute when I go towards the 12 signs. What are we going to reassess? Because it's going to show the areas of our life where this energy is going backwards and forwards. So I know that there's a big taboo around Mercury retrogrades, and keys are getting lost, and computers are just losing their information, and travel seems to be slowing down, and contracts need to be reviewed, and so on, and old lovers come back at the front door. You know, it is really about, look, see it as something positive, see it as accepted that this energy is around, and transmute it. You know, I'm all about, hey, even if things are not so nice, turn them around and say to yourself, no big deal, we're going to do this. And even if it's a contract that you have to review. So it's not recommended, of course, to sign contracts during the retrograde period, which is during the period of, in this case, the 15th of August, the 15th of July between the 12th of August. But again, you're not going to die if you're going to sign something. What it does mean to say is that, let's say you sign for a contract, and I mean, it's a bit out of your control that contract needs to be signed, let's say the 20th of July. Don't say no, because, oh, there's a Mercury retrograde going on. No, you say, okay, I keep it in mind that I will have to probably reassess something, and which is very, very normal, and use that time to indeed reassess something. Like maybe you have your your items, you're getting the new job, and you have some function description or whatever it calls nowadays. And I'm going to restore here the beautiful strings, or how do you call that? There you go. Looking a little bit decent there. You know, it's Leo after all that I'm talking about. Anyway, sorry, I was a bit distracted there. But you kind of reassess it. You go back to it and you say, oh, but they forgot to mention that I have to do this and this in this job description. And then you add it to the contract and off you go. It's nothing more, nothing less, right? So don't make it more than it is, because if we are going to say, oh, yes, the trip that I'm going to make during the Mercury retrograde, oh, it's going to be long. Oh, it's going to be terrible, terrible, terrible. I know you're not going to do that, of course. You're going to say, I watched a video of Veerle. It's going to be a Mercury retrograde. I'm traveling. I'm going to take some books with me. And you're going to be the only one who's really enjoying the retrograde, because then this book that you've always wanted to read in those 3 hours delay, you've read it. You know, that is how I invite you to deal with these energies. It's knowledge. It's divine knowledge. Use it. Don't use it to be scared or to be, fear, 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 fear. No, do the opposite. Say, I know the weather forecast. I know it's going to rain outside today. But what you're going to do is up to you. You either stay inside or you go outside anyways, but you can use an umbrella, can't you? I'm going on and on, I know, but it makes me sometimes a little bit annoyed, to say the least, that people say, oh, I watch astrology and it fears me. Well, don't watch it. Oh, you don't need it. You don't need it, you know. People who use astrology and find it very pleasant to use astrology are people who want to accept life, the things that are out of our control, who wants to accept that. Now, let's go back to the video. Let's go back to the video. This is a little bit the Mercury in Leo that I'm tapping into for sure, because Mercury in Leo, let's talk about that. Now my voice is all turning into a very sexy voice. Anyway, I want to enjoy this, and I am surely, which is Mercury in Leo. You want to enjoy what you talk about. And the good stuff about Mercury in Leo is very heartening communication. So let's go to that, to how we express ourselves, how we express our own uniqueness. That's very, very Mercury in Leo. We're all going to feel that at a certain level in our lives, that we want to communicate in that way. The fact that it's going retrograde is probably because we exaggerate a little bit, and that we have to reassess what we said or reassess what someone else said to us. So there's going to be that. And the chances that it's going to be a little bit over the top, I say that because it's in a fire sign. Leo is fire, and the good Leo is warm. It wants to show their energy. It wants to entertain. It wants to make you feel good about yourself. It wants to inspire you. It wants to bring you a good time. A lot of writers who have Mercury and Leo, for instance, they are big at storytelling. They are such good storytellers, and they do it in this very theatrical way. I use my arms a lot, don't I? It's like the theater way. The negative side is drama of Leo. And don't think like, oh, Veerle is judging me because talking about Leo. Every sign has a positive way. Every sign has a challenge. The challenge of Leo is that we go too much into the drama. Watch the drama triangle video I once made long time ago. I'll put it in the link at the end of the video. If I've forgotten it, watch it and look it up. I'm not going to treat you like babies. So it's called Drama Triangle and Veerle or Astro, and you will find it. And so you want to get out of the drama as well, and you want to be very centered with this energy. But in a good way. This is loving energy. This is speaking words of love. It's a very romantic energy as well. And the thing is, it's one of the best retrogrades of Mercury in a big time, in a while. And why am I saying that? Because in itself, it shows like, yes, we're going to reassess something that we want to say or communicate from the heart. And we might say too much or too big or too grandiose, and we have to reassess it. Or we want to speak our truth and our love to someone, and we're reassessing how we're going to do that. All of this is on the forefront of our minds with this energy. And it's also about, I want to express myself in the way I want to express it. You know, take it or leave it. It's fire. It's very yang energy. It's very much about here it is. And it's also very active energy. So it's about thinking how we can be more creative, how we can be more ourselves, how we can shine better, but not in a, oh, I'm a Leo, but in a way that is loving and warm towards other people. You know, the great performers, they like, you know, they are warm. I'm thinking about Dua Lipa, for instance. She's a Leo, and I don't think she has her Mercury in Leo, but I mean, I'm talking about that warmth of energy and that kind of spirit, like you could say that enthused energy, and to say, look, this is who I am. I'm not going to restrict myself. If you like it, fine. If you don't, you don't. That is the confidence of a true Leo. And I know a lot of people will say, I'm a Leo and I don't have that confidence, but it's about working towards that. So now, this Mercury, why is it such a positive Mercury retrograde? Because of the aspects. So around and about the 19th of July and up until also, you could say, the end of August, July, August time, the aspects that Mercury is going to make, it's pretty positive. It's pretty positive. No dramatic squares to Saturn or Pluto or Uranus or whatever. So that is a good sign. And even more than that, it's all positive transits that it's making to other planets. Let's break this down. So we already know here that we want to be, driven by what we are convinced about from the heart, and share that with other people for sure, to those who want to hear it. But now the aspects are very much about the following. The first aspect that Mercury retrograde is going to have is on the day of the retrograde, which is on the 19th of July. It's already going to sextile Venus, which is fantastic. I mean, if you see someone in a natal chart having an aspect between Mercury and Venus, these are the ones who you want to be around, because what they say is always with respect, and all, because that is what Venus is all about. And it's always in this way, because Venus will be in Gemini. So Mercury will be at 15 degrees of Leo, and Venus in a sextile will be at 15 degrees of Gemini. It's going to be there from the 18th up until the 21st of July, which is the words, even though it's a time that you have said maybe too much or too little or whatever, with that sextile between Mercury and Venus, it means that this is soothing energy. This is wittiness. Venus in Gemini likes a good joke and likes the lightness of being, right? And we need it, certainly in times like this, where there is a lot of heaviness in the world. It's not to put your head in the sand, but it's to get through the day, right? So this is beautiful energy for saying things honestly, with confidence, Leo, but also in a very respectful way and in a bit of a witty way at the same time. So this is marvelous and beautiful. Now, even more, Mercury, when it will be back in the state of the direct time, so to speak, it's gonna sextile Mars as well. So when Mercury and I'm talking now about the 12th of August. So a little bit later on, when Mercury goes direct, it goes direct on the 12th of August at 4 degrees of Leo, but it will then sextile Mars in Libra at around and about 4 degrees of Libra. This is also nice, because people with a beautiful aspect between Mercury and Mars, they are assertive in their speech. They are not arrogant, which is like shouting. and they are not like letting themselves walking all over themselves, but they say what they've got to say, right? If they are at the grocery store and someone is trying to pick your, to take your place, they're not going to shout, "Hey, I'm first here." That would be me. I have a Mercury conjunct Mars. No, I'm kidding. But with a good aspect. And it would also not be like, oh, you're not going to say anything and you're going to feel frustrated and you're going to let that person go before you. No, you're going to say, oh, maybe you haven't noticed, but I was first here. So, and if they're going to be annoying, you're going to put it a little bit more and say, thank you for your respect, but I'm here first. So I'm waiting as well. And I have to do other things as well. And 9 times out of 10, with this Mercury sextiling Mars, you really, people, you're going to get understood. People are going to see your boundaries because of that. So what a beautiful energy this is. And Mars in Libra is not sharp like Mars in Aries. No, Mars in Libra is like, I'm sure you didn't do it on purpose. That's Mars in Libra. Those Mars in Libra people, they are so gentle with their activeness. They, in a negative way, it's passive-aggressive, being passive-aggressive, but in a positive way, it's having respect for someone, but also saying what's on your heart and on your, what you want to say. So beautiful energy. And because of that, of course, these people are not getting into conflict so easily. So Mercury sextiling Mars, and that will be up until the end of August, up until like that sextile, up until the end, the 28th of August. So what a beautiful Mercury retrograde. I know it's still, I'm not putting my head in the sand here. People say that I'm too optimistic, but that says a lot about them as well. But anyways, yes, you have to be realistic. You will have to reassess stuff. But that again, you're not going to die from this. And the third thing I want to say is that the Mercury retrograde, when it's going to be at 9 degrees of Leo, it's going to be combust with the sun at 9 degrees of Leo on the 1st of August. So mark these days, the 1st of August, the very end of July, the very beginning of August. These are days that you're not seeing things clearly. Okay, so try to shut your mouth if you can. If you know of yourself, if you know your character, if you know thyself and you know that you have a bit of a big mouth, keep it cool. If not, make sure that people, if you see it around you, that people are getting, crazy with their words, know that these are a bit of energy, so to speak, that people really are not seeing clear. But these are a couple of days, so mark them in your agenda that these things are a little bit, Mercury is burned by the sun, you could say. When it's too close to the sun, it gets, it gets burned and it doesn't really see clear, right? But because it's in the midst of this retrograde period, this means that we're really going to reassess. We're going to be like, we need this blindness almost to, after that, wake up, right? So really interesting. And I also had a look at the fixed stars, 15 degrees of Leo. There's a fixed star called Dubhe. It's Arabic word for bear, Dubhe. And it means foresight, means having foresight. And it's also related to wealth and success. And you want to have that foresight. So what also is very, very possible is that you're going to have some foresight during the retrograde period and insight in your future when it comes to how to be creative, how to do some projects, how to relate to love as well, all those topics of the Leo, and that you will integrate when Mercury goes direct again. So wow, it's a beautiful Mercury retrograde for sure. And let's make the best out of this. Now I'm gonna have a look for each and every sign where this retrograde is going on. But I will integrate as well, where Venus is in Mars. Because where we can tap into those beautiful energies where Venus is going to help this Mercury retrograde. And where Mars is going to help. this Mercury retrograde, because Mars, Venus and Mercury want to soothe things in communication, want to say things in a beautiful way, respectful way. Mercury and Mars, they want, if your intention is good, you know, it's a very active way of saying what's on your mind. And again, with respect for others, because Mars is in a Venus ruled sign of Libra. So let's get into this very shortly, you know, not only because it's like here in Belgium today, like 35 degrees. I don't know how that is in Fahrenheit, but Celsius, it's warm. It's hot in here. I mean, in Europe, and it's only the beginning of vacation time, you know. I'm recording this on the 30th of June, and it's already so warm here. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is it's no time to, you know, to make this video too long, because it's very about how it is, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, Aries. Well, Aries, this retrograde is in your 5th house. This is so beautiful because you Aries people are a fellow fire sign. You understand this energy. And this is all about you reassessing your heart. You reassessing, it could be a love relationship. And with reassessing, it means the good, the bad, and the ugly. Again, if someone is at your front door, an ex-lover that you hate, you don't have to open it, right? But it's about reassessment of past loves. It can also mean a reassessment of a current love that you want to do different, and things need to be said. You know, remember that Venus in your 3rd house of communication, beautiful words of love, and what's on the heart. And Mars is in the 7th house. Whew, this is really sexual as well at the same time. So do something if you are in a relationship with your loved one that you love to do, whatever it is, traveling or whatever. It's also about children. Could mean literally that you're deciding, you're reassessing, yeah, we're going to get a child, or we're not going to get a child, whatever it is. It's a great time to start your own business, because it's not only the reassessing of this and how you're going to do it. I would recommend to then launch it after the Mercury goes direct, which is after the 12th of August. But with that beautiful support of the 3rd and the 7th house, it means that there's a lot of public, there's a lot of PR going on there. So a beautiful time to launch a project, to launch a new hobby as well, or a hobby that you used to do that you're picking up again. Splendid. And it's also very social in a way. Beautiful time. The things that you love to do, you're thinking about it. And you're putting it into action with someone else, right? Because of this Mars in your 7th house. Very beautiful energy, by the way. A beautiful Mercury retrograde. Taurians, this is in your 4th house. So you're having this Mercury in Leo in the 4th house, which means tension energy to your energy. So what it means is that things need to be reassessed that literally have to do with your home life. So literally it could mean that you are thinking of your home, how you want to do it different, how you want to communicate different with parents or communicate different with your relatives. If you live in another country than your home country, you can want to revisit your home country. It's a good time for that. It's a good time to take those albums, for instance, and put all the photos that you have gathered through the years and put it in an album. And that's a beautiful way of doing this. And with Venus in the 2nd house, do it a beautiful album. Mars is in the 6th house, so this is related to your daily life, your daily routine. So I think a lot of Taurians will think about what they can do at home to shift their lifestyle, to improve it, with Mars there in the 6th house, and also work. How to maybe fix some things at the home so that work can go more smoothly in a way. But it's a very practical energy here, and also an energy of you coming home literally with your emotions. So it can also mean that because of maybe something that is in the family, you know, a lot of words are spoken because of something that happens, and you have to reassess that. There is some tension there, might be with relatives, and it's good to go back to it and to reassess it and look at it from certain angles. But all in all, if you're doing that, it's going to be good for your self-worth, it's going to be good for your money position, and also for your work. So it seems that, reassess your emotional state, so to speak, and you will be well. Geminis, this is lovely energy. Lovely energy because Leo is also a sextile to your energy. Remember, Venus is in your sign as well. So the third house, it's a very busy way. Busy. If you have your own business, this could mean a very busy time. I always find, Mercury retrogrades in the third house. If people are self-employed, it's busy, super busy. Emails, and you could do or redo a website and prepare it and adjust it and, expressing it in your own unique way. It's a great time for that. You can study something or go back to an old study or teaching and reassess that if you want to do that. Venus in your sign gives you a lot of attraction from other people just by you being you. And that's marvelous. And with that trine, because Mars is trining your fifth house of self-expression, of projects, of things that you do from the heart and that you love to do, this is a very busy time, but also a very jolly kind of time where you can do things that you really love to do. So again, very good for starting or restarting an idea of a business, of a project, of if you want to sell something, for instance, that you produce yourself, whether it is art or whatever it is for you. This is a great time to do that. And you could, with the Mercury retrograde, if you travel, you could go back to somewhere that you already traveled to. And you could write also, if you're a vlogger or something, that could be like a re-editing, an edit phase, so to speak. But all in all, a very sociable time. Also for love, pretty good here. You could rethink what you think about love, and definitely dating and being very active on the love sector. Cancerians, this is happening in your second house. So for you, dear Cancerians, the second house is your financial house. So this is, and with Mercury here, which is the mind, you are reviewing and reassessing your money, which is a good thing. So there is something that might come up, and it's related to the fourth house and the 12th house. So it could be related to your home. It could be related to karma as well, and that you are reviewing, in a way, your financial state. It's a good thing, though, whether it is to improve it, whether it is to regulate your finances in a better way. For some people, it's going to be like working with a different accountant, if they have their own business, for instance. For other people, it will be like, okay, this financial structure that I'm having here, it's not good. How do I redo it? And so it could be related to real estate as well, because Mars is in your fourth house, and the fourth house is the house of home and family. So it could be related to that they are the triggers, so to speak, for you to kind of reassess your financial situation. And it's a good time to do it a bit different and to do it in a new way after Mercury goes direct, which is on the 12th of August. Venus is in your 12th house. That could mean like what is helping you is you being kind. I know that Venus in the 12th house, a lot of people say, oh, that is private, and that is love behind the scenes and whatnot. That can be possible as well. But with this configuration, I think it's going to be more towards helping you with that financial situation. So you could also be very generous to other people at the same time, and being very kind in how you interact with others, maybe family as well, to improve that financial situation. Because after this Mercury retrograde, you have this opportunity to improve your financial situation. Leos, of course, this is all about you. This is happening in your first house. So the first house is you, it's your body, it's how you profile, and certainly with Mercury there, the mind, planet. It's about how you profile yourself, how you show yourself to others. So it's a perfect time to kind of redo something about yourself. And whether it is about your looks or mostly it's about how you present yourself in the way that you speak. And hopefully for you, it's going to help you with being more positive, being more communicative in a warm way, the good vibes of the Leo energy. And it's sextiled by Venus in the 11th house. So there might be a good friendship or someone is helping you with that. And with Mars in the third, it's a very active time socially. You could be doing something, organizing something in the neighborhood. And because of that, with a lot of friends, and you're going to enjoy yourself, you're going to be the star in some kind of way, whether you like it or not. It's that retrograde motion there, and how you present yourself after the 12th of August is definitely in a new way, and people are going to notice this. It's also about your life path. So if you want to do big things after this Mercury retrograde, you got the green light. Why? Because the first house is you, and it's how you relate to others. So it's relationships, it's your work, your purpose. So all of that can be reviewed during this time. So great time after Mercury goes direct after the 12th of August to implement new stuff for you, to implement new contracts, to implement new relationships or old relationships, to rekindle them. Seeing old friends, and being active in the neighborhood as well. If you have your own business, this is a very social time with a lot of work and a lot of clients and a lot of income from those clients, because Venus is in your 11th house. It's a financial house if you have your own business. It's the second house from the 10th house. Virgos, this is all behind the scenes because Mercury is your ruler and it's in the 12th house. So it is said in a lot of books, Mercury in the 12th, and definitely when it's your ruler, you're a little bit lost there. Well, in a more positive way, how can you turn this around? Well, it's, of course, if you can, take some time out. Take some time that you can go on a vacation. Or if that is not possible, at least do some meditation, do some dream analysis, be with yourself and tap into your own subconscious energy, because you're gonna get some really, really big insights about yourself, about your confidence, about your heart when this Mercury goes direct again after the 12th of August. What is helping you with this energy of understanding the subconscious more, this is what this is all about. What can help you is your work. Venus in the 10th house and also Mars in the 2nd house, you hustling for the money and being very active to improve your income and to work for that, and buying assets that you really, really need and that are necessary for you, but also good for you. So it's a strange combination, isn't it? But I think that there's this balance between, and people are not going to see this because Mercury is in your 12th house. People don't see your 12th house. Well, of course, they see you, but they don't know what you're going through. Let's put it that way. So I think that via your work, via things that happen in a good way at your work, you're going to reflect on that, and you're going to reflect on your confidence. So when Mercury goes into your sign, which is going to be the next month in September, when it's going to be your birthday, there you are. You are totally renewed and with a new profile, so to speak. So a lot to think about for you and a lot of reflection. So let's put it that way. That is the positive way of Mercury in the 12th house, right? Instead of saying like, oh yeah, I don't know where I'm heading. It's okay to not know where you're heading. Don't resist it. It's okay. It means that you're going to go on a new path. So you have to go through that process. You can't just kind of skip it. But you're a Virgo. You know how this works. These retrogrades. You're used to that. Librans, this is happening in your 11th house. This is nice. It's a sextile to your energy. Having this Mercury retrograde in the 11th house means that you are reviewing your goals. You are reviewing your goals for the future, your objectives, what do you want to do, but also you're reviewing your friends. So there could be a rekindling with an old friend or with a group of friends, or it could simply mean that you are working on that, to have more true friends, friends from the heart. And this Mars of yours is this Mars is in your sign now, helping you in a beautiful energy towards this energy of friendship, like-minded people. So you're definitely connecting with a lot of people. Venus in the 9th house. For those of you who want love, this is finding love, maybe through a friend, and by traveling far away places. Or you could go from friendship to more than friendship. So that is definitely on for you as well. For some of you, you could really kind of reassess your friendships, plural. So that you're saying, okay, this social group is not good for me. I mean, from the heart again, it's not that they're bad, but I'm not aligned with them anymore. Gonna focus on new friends and new connections. Could be that as well, but a good time to travel as well, even though it's a retrograde time. With Venus in your 9th house, you're gonna enjoy it so much. And with Mars in your sign, you're very assertive, and when you're doing that in a good way, as I explained in the intro, you're really onto something new here with your goals for the future. Scorpios, this is a square energy. So for Scorpios, this Mercury is squaring your energy in the 10th house in Leo. This is for most of you, your careers and your work. So maybe first for people who don't work, this has to do with your role in society, with your public role. I mean, you can be a grandma, have no job, so to speak, no career, but still you have your role in this world, in maybe exuding a lot of beautiful energy and energy from the heart, and exuding that is what you're contributing to this world. And it's a snowball effect, right? It's not only your grandchildren, for instance, that are gonna be grateful for that, but also other people around you. So it's what you exude in the world, and there's a reassessment there. You want to communicate in a different way, and certainly when you have a career, this is the time for thinking about that career and reassessing it. Is it still, and for some of you this will mean, yeah, I'm gonna do something big, right? And I'm gonna transform it because it sextiles to Venus in your 8th house and Mars is in your 12th house. So you're preparing something. You might be prepared for, or preparing some sort of a shift in how you understand yourself psychologically and breaking through a barrier of fear, so that you're kind of asking for this promotion very bluntly and openly and enthusiastically, and saying, look, this is who I am, take it or leave it, or I'm going to go elsewhere. If it's not your company, there's plenty of others. I only need one company. That kind of energy. It is tension though, so it means that you will have to get a bit out of that comfort zone. It's a good time to reassess. It's a good time to rethink your business if you have your own business, or your job if you have a job. And if not, if you don't have a job, you're looking for a job, this is a good sign. This means that you might go back to something that you already did in the past. Sagittarians, this is lovely. This is lovely for the Sagittarians. This is you're a fire sign, and Leo as well. And this is in your house, the house of the 9th house, where this Mercury goes backwards and forwards. So you are reassessing your belief system. You are reassessing your belief system. You're testing it. You might be traveling. It's a good time to do so, and certainly with other people, because you have sextile energy in Leo to Venus in which is your opposite sign, which is other people in the 7th house, and Mars in the 11th. So you could be doing something. Let's say you work on you have your own business. You could collaborate with someone from abroad. 9th in the Mercury in the 9th. That could be communication, travel, and then Venus in the 7th, which is a business partner that is very lovely, or giving you a lot of opportunity, and Mars in the 11th working together. So for business, if you have your own business, this is amazing energy. This is actually a call for, hey, reassess if you go international, something like that, or at least a bit broader, broadening your perspective. For other people, it could mean study, teaching, learning, traveling, going back to a country you already traveled. So that can represent that Mercury retrograde. So yes, for you, it could be with some delays here and there, but in a good way. You know, you're having a delay, for instance, and you meet people, Venus in the 7th house, that are so kind and then can help you with your goals for the future. Mars in the 11th house, very sociable for you, very adventurous energy for sure. And it's like mind-blowing when it comes to your belief system, because when Mercury goes backwards and forwards in the house of belief system, there is an old belief system that is tested. So whatever it is for you, maybe you always think like, I have to work hard for the money, and now you say, no, I'm not. Right? I'm confident, you know, and I speak from confidence, and then, you know, the clients come to me, for instance, when I exude that energy, rather than I'm hustling and hustling and hustling, that kind of energy here. Very beautiful. Capricorns, this is happening in your 8th house, this energy of Leo. So the 8th house is, of course, a very hidden house. It's a psychological house. It's a house of transformation. So you could say, yeah, that's a bit of a heavy Mercury retrograde. But what it is, I find always Mercury retrogrades in the 8th give a lot of aha moments and breakthroughs afterwards when this Mercury goes direct in on the 12th of August. So it might be for you that there is a circumstance that is quite deep and quite transforming for you, but it kind of reflects as well that you're tackling some deep psychological struggles that you're now tackling in a way of, I'm going through the fear rather than going around them, and you are going to be reborn after that. It could also have to do with money from other people, because Mars is in your 10th house in Libra, and Venus is in your 6th house in Gemini of your day-to-day work. So you could be, for instance, having a lot of conversations with the Mercury retrograde in the 8th house around money that you share with other people, whether it's business partners, and you kind of reassess something. But the business, so the work, is kind of helping it, so to speak, and being in favor of all of that. On another level, what it can also mean is that there is a tax return, there is an inheritance, and because of that, you can invest in work and you can invest in your business, for instance. Very beautiful as well. Although it is very deep, for sure. Aquarians, how important is this? This is all about your relationships. This is important, and specifically for the Aquarians who've got planets between 15 degrees of Aquarius, but also those who've got personal planets in Aquarius around 4, 5, 6, 3 degrees of Aquarius, because there is where that Mercury kind of stops, seems to go backwards. This is about your connections. For those of you, so no, don't think like, oh, exes are gonna step on my doorstep, and of course you can always shut the door if you don't like them. And so it's in your hands. Of course it is. But what it definitely means is, if you're single, for instance, that you're reassessing something when it comes to relationships, that you're rethinking. And definitely, even when you're single, there's going to be someone there. There's going to be someone there that is getting in touch with you, and that you're reassessing, what am I going to do with that? Right? What am I going to do with it? But it trines your sign, Aquarius, trines Venus in the 5th. So this is about love. This is about your creativity, the things that you love to do, that you adore, your hobbies and so on. And Mars is in the 9th house, the house of abroad, being active, traveling. So this could also mean, so first of all, it could mean love, for sure. It could mean either rekindling of old love or reassessing the area of love, because you're reassessing something with your loved one. And you might be traveling together, you might be doing things together, like going to cultural events, having some fun with each other, and trying to be more, you could say, expressive in that way. But together, if there is something that you want to say, or probably that they are gonna say, listen, right? So they could really, especially around the 1st of August, they could go a bit crazy with their communication with the sun combusting Mercury. But pause is very important for you and listen to what their standpoint is, and kind of like a true Aquarian, detach yourself a little bit from it and see their perspective as well, because it's important. You have that Mercury in the 7th house, so you want to get along. But definitely good for love relationships, definitely also good for having fun. It's a very social time, and definitely if you want to do that abroad, or with like if you have your own business, for instance, go international with Mars in your 9th house, go broader, or in the entertainment, right? The 5th house, the 9th house, it has to do with entertainment. It has to do with doing something with a person. It has to do with, you might know someone from abroad and you want to go hiking or something like that, or doing something very active that has to do with 9th house stuff, which is travel, which is also studies and the metaphysical way of life, right? You could be studying or wanting to study. So it's a very, very beautiful energy, because all of this is adding to your energy. I mean, the air of the Mars in Libra and also the Venus in Gemini, that is what we call a perfect grand trine. That doesn't happen a lot, by the way. So if you have opportunities that feel really good, go for it, girl or boy, or man or woman, because this shows a very, very beautiful exploring and expression of yourself through another person as well, with that Mercury in the 7th house. Also for if you say my relationship is there could be, you have to work through some stuff. And then with that Mars in the 9th house, your belief system is more open. You're being active with it, and it improves your life in general. Pisceans, for the last but not least, this is happening in your 6th house. So this Mercury retrograde. So for a lot of you people out there, it's going to be your work. It's going to be you reassessing the nitty gritty about your work, the day-to-day stuff, the administration, the day-to-day work that you need to do, the day-to-day routines that you're doing, your health, and all of these things are reassessed. And it's a good time now to, even if you don't work, right, it's more towards your routines and your lifestyle, but certainly when you do work, it's a good time to reassess it. Do you still love what you do? Do you feel purposeful? Do you love to do it from the heart? And if not, you can look for another job, and definitely tap into a new one and sign contracts when Mercury goes direct again around the 12th of August and onwards. You're getting that help from Venus in the 4th house and Mars in the 8th house. So this is your own emotional well-being. So there's a lot of that you feel good around home or relatives, or rekindle with people of your family. And Mars in the 8th house is also about you tackling deep psychological topics of yours, and doing that in a way that you understand them, and that you work through them with a lot of gentleness, I would say. And but all in all, quite an active time for you, quite a busy time. So you could be doing a routine that you used to do and pick it up again. You could be doing some work that you used to do and picking that up again as well. But whatever it is, emotionally, you're in a good place. You understand yourself. You're being kind to yourself, and being also very active with you could say preparing yourself for a new way of thinking as well. Mars in the 8th, who's ready to go then into your 9th house of exploring. So you definitely could be tackling some fears as well. And I mean, tackling them, that means like step by step, you're going through that fear, through that barrier of fear. And that might have to do with your day-to-day life. You know, by eating better, you're tackling those fears in a better way, or by doing something different that has to do with things that you love to do. Whether it is some kind of sport, whether it is the things that you love to do at work, or a project that you're taking on. Anyway, that's it. I hope it was helpful for all of you. But thank you so much for watching. Keep on subscribing. Thank you so much for those of you who ordered readings and for your kind comments and feedbacks. I really, really do appreciate it. I read every single comment, and thanks so much for your kindness and your energy. It keeps me busy, and it keeps me definitely honoring that it's an honor actually to serve, people who are at important times of their lives, because mostly that's when people want to have a reading, right? So anyway, you find the link below of my website if you want to order a reading or having a look at it. And I wish you all the best with the Mercury retrograde. Bye-bye.